Now with the city in sight, Philip Kindred has a direction, a purpose. With his odd shoes, he's going to continue to travel, scavenging as he goes, trying to learn more about who he is and how he fits into this world that he doesn't recognize anymore. Let us hope that answers will lie in the east. And so with that, it's time to get a move on and continue our journey to the east. Tired as we are, we'll push on until we make it to our destination. We're out of moves, let's end our turn, and then keep on moving to the east. And we've already seen it. We're already there. A decent journey, but one that really didn't take us that many nights. We see, I think, a tent city outside of the Detroit megacity gates. We're going to beeline straight towards them, and we hear them before we see them. People, lots of them. Pushing branches aside, you're presented with the city you saw from afar, a hybrid between shantytown, refugee camp, and RV park skirts the massive walls to the city. Everywhere you look, people navigate the winding muddy roads, carrying supplies, patching holes in shelters, or arguing over property. Smoke from 1,000 camp stoves and barrel fires trail upwards, and the scent of cooked food elicits a gurgling from your stomach. Philip is very motivated by food, not a surprise, and nary an eye pays attention to you, just one of dozens of ragtag corpses shuffling in from the wasteland. Beggars, customers, hopefuls, prey. Welcome to DMC's Sprawl. And oh boy, what a sprawl it is. We can see this tent city seems to wrap around the outside of it. Before we get too close, we will be checking to see if there are items, and there are. Unlicensed power tap used to add more charges. Okay. There's a few charges there already. Let's see if we can charge our phone here. So we're going to empty that out of charges, and we'll see if we can apply that to our battery. No, we can't. Okay, so we'll empty that out, and then battery. Yes, that works. And 20 charges seems to be a max it can take. Let's turn on the phone and see what we can do with this. The cell phone lacks any noteworthy functions, so okay, we could maybe sell it still. So we'll turn that off. We'll need to try and find somewhere to sell it. I'm hoping we'll find somewhere here. We're hungry, we're tired, but we're warmed by campfires, because there are a lot of campfires out here. It seems thousands in actual fact. There's a lot of people. And so, we also have some abandoned high-rise towers and some abandoned buildings here. We'll start to make our way around the outside here, of course checking the ground whenever we're going, and we are still finding some things. I mean, we've got some whiskey here, or, a whiskey bottle. And moving down to this next building, well, looks like we're going to need to wait, and of course, yeah, we do see some folks moving around there. And here, opening this up, we've got foil and pebbles. Nothing worth taking, really. But the gates are here. Navigating the twisty maze of shacks and tarp shelters, Detroit's massive walls stand as a constant backdrop to the east. Easily a half-dozen stories high and probably almost as thick, the city walls are an impressive sight to behold. Arm towers, bristling with surveillance arrays, stand at regular intervals, keeping watch over the sprawl and likely the city within. Before you, giant vid screens on the 3 gatehouses flash instructions about pass requirements and threat levels as flocks of people stream in and out of the gates. You take your place in line on the right with the others entering the city. When you reach the front of the line, a sinking feeling overcomes you. Heavily armed guards in full combat armor are checking attendees with some sort of scanning device. You're pretty sure that whatever these folks have to get in, you're missing it. When it's your turn, the guard stops you and turns to a monitor installed in the wall. A message reads, "Device not detected, entrance denied." With the efficiency and compassion of an assembly line worker, he directs you away from the line back outside. Unfortunately, getting entrance to the city may be trickier than just showing up. Yet, back outside, you cross the muddy square and stop to survey the area. Where do you go now? Would anyone on the sprawl know about the cryo facility? You're startled when you notice a man has been watching you. He's wearing a long brown coat and matching hat. and is leaning on a walking stick. From this distance, you can almost see the glint of his eyes below the trilby's brim, though it's probably just your imagination. He takes his time approaching you, and as he nears, you notice there's a heavy makeup on his face. It reminds you of those old portraits you'd see in history books. "Folks call me Hatter," he says matter-of-factly. "I think we may be able to help each other. Come with me." And so we do. Hatter's office is in the husk of one of those flophouse hotels you'd see crammed between high-rises in a busy city. It even has the old marquee, hanging precariously from the cornerstones. Several floors up, armed guards watch over the street from missing sections of the building. Hatter acknowledges the men at the door and then leads you through a surprisingly clean lobby to an old-fashioned elevator. "I have a client," he starts, pausing for the cage to rattle shut, "who collects heirlooms." He speaks louder over the motor. "He compensates well enough. In fact, that I'd be willing to part with a DMC's visitor pass in exchange." The elevator clunks to a halt and the doors rattle open, revealing a dark room lit by video screens and old lamps. Stepping off the elevator, it feels like you've walked into a control center built into an antique store. Baubles and relics crowd the walls and tabletops, while the video screens and computer consoles cast a bluish tint on a handful of armed guards. Hatter crosses the room to sit at a low, broad desk facing the elevator. "There's a lake." He pulls a worn road atlas from a desk drawer. "About a day's walk northwest of here. Inside a building there is a silver urn." He pages through the atlas to a map of Michigan. "My guess is that you know a thing or two about getting around out there. And maybe this could be your ticket into the DMC." He pauses to look up at you. "Interested?" Okay, so we have a few different options here. Tracking. Ask about the odd tracks on the ground. Something's fishy here, or decline, or yeah. So we also have the security tape. Let's go with the tape option to begin with. Hand that over towards him. Hatter slots the memory stick into one of his video monitors. As the footage plays on Hatter's wall unit, you notice more than one bodyguard shift self-consciously, and another utters a low whistle. Hatter's lips curl into genuine satisfaction, and he leans back in his creaky wooden chair. "Maybe Christmas comes early this year. Tell you what, forget about the urn. The pass is yours." He pulls a black wristband from a desk drawer and extends it to you over the desk. "And hey," he says before letting go of it, "maybe you come around here again when you're looking for some work. I think a few of these hotshots could learn a thing or two." So he's just giving us the pass. Intriguing. Okay, view the received items. Yep, Detroit Megacity Tracking Bracelet. It's worth 500. Okay, we're gonna slap that onto our wrist, and we can consume this to re-enter. Right, but that's that. Hatter, thank you. We have a way into the city now, and we're gonna take that. Making our way back up towards the front, we can see that at the front of the line, the guard motions you closer. A moment of pregnant silence precedes a satisfying chirp, and the monitors flash. Visitor pass N6MAA10816 authorized. The guard ushers you forwards, and you begin down a longish stretch of empty corridors lined with harsh xenon lighting. Beyond the opening at the other end, you see throngs of activity and the flicker of busy signage eclipsed by passing people. And oh boy, we have the Detroit megacity in front of us here. A sprawling city, and we have a number of different places that we can go to right off the bat, and that's where we kind of came from, the sprawl that's outside this great big tent city. Right, so we've got the Red Gnome, Haggerty Health Clinic, the Detroit Savings Bank, and the Concrete Forest Apartments. Yeah, and these are the great arcologies that we could see in the distance as well. So we do know that we have an account at the Savings Bank. We saw it back in the cryo facility. So Starting off there seems like the most sensible choice. It's also the closest place for us to go. Detroit Savings Bank turns out to be a surprisingly tricky business to find. It has a presence for certain. Self-service terminals are near ubiquitous, winking at passers-by from countertops, ad walls, and alcoves. But there's little more to these terminals than signage, lights, and a screen. There doesn't even appear to be a place to dispense cash nor insert a card. After a bit of walking, though, you eventually find a Detroit Savings Bank microbranch with more than a screen. You're outside the Saving Bank's Gate 11 microbranch, a secure climate-controlled booth slightly larger than a covered bus stop. It sits on the sidewalk here. It has the requisite self-service terminal on the exterior, but looking through the transparent walls, there appears to be an actual human teller inside. And the thing to remember here as well is that Philip is kind of dressed really weird right now with his mismatched shoes. He's wearing a freaking dogman coat, a hoodie with a hospital gown stretching out from underneath of it. It's an interesting look, to say the least. So we do have a few different options that we can run with here. Wait for the teller to leave. Tracking, look for a weakness, threaten the teller. Just entering the booth might be a good idea. Let's use our tracking skill, though. We'll see if there are any weaknesses to this microbranch here. The microbranch isn't a fortress, but trying anything too overt would attract a lot of attention and likely warrant a quick visit from the police. You do, however, notice that the facility lacks a restroom. Between potty breaks and lunch, the teller's gonna have to step out somewhere. The trick will be doing it without looking like a creep. Yeah, I can imagine. Look, I think we just try and talk. Let's enter the booth. What's the worst that could happen? You pull the transparent door open and step through. Inside, you're greeted with bright-colored light and dry, tepid air. The teller, a presentable-looking young woman with straight brown hair, looks up from her terminal warmly. "Hello," she says. "Is there anything that I can assist you with today?" Good question. So we can talk about the cryo facility. We can pretend to be a patient, a mentally challenged patient, by just handing over anything else, it seems. I guess yeah, okay. Let's maybe try and go with the cryo facility account. That seems like a sensible option. Okay. You begin to explain your situation, starting with the cryo facility, your amnesia, the clues you followed to reach this point. She feigns interest as you tell your tale, but at the first opportunity interjects. "I'm sorry, Mr. Kindred, but do you hold an account with us?" "I think so." You consider answering, but she continues. "Or perhaps you have some form of identification?" "Well, we have our medical bracelet here." Or hand that over. You hold forth your bracelet, plaintively. "Oh," she says, switching subtly from attentive to deflective. "I'm afraid we can only serve clients who presently hold an account with Detroit Savings Bank or citizens of Detroit opening new accounts. However, you're still welcome to use our payment network at any participating vendor. Your mobile device can both send and receive payments." She indicates a brightly illustrated placard on the wall depicting overwhelmingly inoffensive young people conducting a transaction in an unnaturally happy fashion. I see. You smile and thank the young lady and head back outside. The humid city air seems palpable after the crisp environs of the booth. So that's that. We can wait to try and get some more information, or we can try some other options. You know what? I think we try some other options before we look like a creep or potentially get the police called on us. Let's try some other things. We leave the micro branch behind. So what do we got here? We got the Red Gnome, we got the health clinic, and we also have Concrete Forest Apartments all the way down there. Maybe we start with the Red Gnome. What do we have here? The Red Gnome is an exception in an already exceptional city. Situated on a busy corner in Gate 11's Neon Alley, the single-story Streamliner Diner defies the densely packed high-rises and elevated roads around it. In fact, several adjoining buildings seem to grow over the diner, using the precious space above its roof. It seems almost untouchable in an otherwise claustrophobic warren of glittering skyscrapers and patchwork overpasses. Even before entering, you get the sense that there is something unusual about the place. For one, despite a prodigious amount of tagging on every surface, the diner is left unmarred, as if those around here know better than to try. However, that ominous thought doesn't seem to deter anyone's hunger. A line snakes out from the takeout window under a sign boasting, "Real soul food, real meat." Well then, let's enter Red Gnome. Pushing through the stainless steel doors, a rush of warm, greasy air fills your nose. Replacing the damp coolness from outside, your stomach irps almost instantly in anticipation of whatever you smell on that grill. The decor is somewhat less inviting, however. Despite a number of lights, most of them seem incapable of dispelling the dimness in the space, and sepia-stained Curo along the wall seem to capture the creepy awkwardness of the diner's history, the nostalgia. Padded stools line the long countertops and booths run the length of the outer wall, sporting ripped vinyl benches. A stark pattern of 1-inch tiles dots the floor. Not surprisingly, in retrospect, that the takeout line was so long. Still, an open seat and a warm meal are promised land compared to eating condensed soup in the rain. You shove your stuff into an empty booth and start paging through the laminated menu. Okay, so wow, it's all pretty expensive and we don't have any money at all. Fried chicken, mac and cheese, red beans with rice. We've got Cadillac burger, mashed potatoes with gravy and cornbread, and jumbo fried shrimp, collard greens, black-eyed peas, and peach cobbler. It all sounds freaking amazing, but unfortunately, we're going to be leaving that. On second thought, maybe you aren't hungry. You head back out to the streets. No, we're definitely hungry. We just don't have any money whatsoever. So, Haggerty Health Clinic? I mean, we'll stop in, and then I think we'll head down to the apartments. Failing that, we'll head back to the bank and, wait around like a creepy weirdo. Haggerty Health Clinic is a pretty busy spot. Its proximity to Gate 11 and its mercenary attitude towards clientele ensures that it has a steady stream of business from both inside the DMC and Sprawl. The Double H, as it's often called, offers a wide spectrum of health services. Those include diagnostics, cleaning and dressing of wounds, therapeutics including nanorobotic suspension treatments, and prescription drugs. There is also an on-site augmentation clinic where patients can elect for prosthetic enhancements. These desired services may require more special permits, in addition to the significant price tags, I'm sure. As you cross the street, you can't help but notice the activity on the rooftop. The high-pitched whines of turbines mark the coming and going of hover vehicles, spraying water from the landing pad into a fine mist that rings around the building. A large proportion of the vehicles seem to be unaffiliated private ambulance services. You huddle your shoulders against the spray and duck under the brightly lit awning. Staggered automatic doors forming a crude airlock slosh open as you approach, and we'll enter the lobby here. Inside, the lobby looks a lot like any other clinic. There are banks of attached seats covering most of the floor, and counters for both receiving patients and dispensing pharmaceuticals. Dominating the right wall, near a hallway and elevator bank, is an LED sign. Letter and number combinations update at random intervals as nurses escort patients to and from the room. You head over to the counter and get your waiting number. It isn't long before the LED lotto calls your number and you're led away for consultation. Okay, what services do you require today? So yet again, money that we do not have. Yeah, just looking at all the different things. That's a very expensive blood transfusion. And then of course upstairs there is the augmentation procedures and whatnot. We're just, looking to see what's on offer here. We'll be leaving the clinic Yeah, I think we're probably going to need to try and find somewhere to offload all the junk that we've got, because I don't think people in the city are going to be buying junk. We might have to try that outside. We're going to exhaust all these opportunities first. So next, we're going to walk on down to the apartments here. Arriving at the concrete forest apartments, you immediately see the resemblance. Towering structures stand at regular intervals, like giant artificial trees, crisscrossing laundry lines, string lights, and contra code balcony modifications complete the illusion. Below the ground is an organic patchwork of community gardens and trash heaps, gutted husks of cars and playgrounds, those who call the forest home and those who sleep in its shadow. It feels a bit like a street fair collided with a refugee camp in the ghetto. You step into the block and start looking around. Okay, there's a canteen truck strategically positioned curbside near the main walk. People are lined up at the illuminated side window, and a mixture of steam and smoke stream from its openings. Nearby, music booms from where a crowd has gathered. It's all bobbing shoulders and legs from here, but you do see a car's hatchback sticking up from near the center. One of the towers has a C-store at ground level. A lonely few are inside, but it doesn't seem very popular. And then there's the ubiquitous knock-off vendor barking at passers-by. So there's the canteen truck. Everything's so expensive. There's the C-store. Check out the crowd or leave. You know what? Let's check out the crowd first of all. The sidewalk is vibrating with bass as you approach, and the scene begins to make a bit more sense. A wide-bodied metallic red hatchback is parked near the center, its doors and hatch wide open, exposing an array of lights, speakers, and subs. You can almost feel the air move in time with the beat. Meanwhile, b-boys are taking turns, mixing moves and styles. Both familiar and strange. It astounds you how the human body can do these things, how humans still push the boundaries of an art form older than you can imagine. The high, positive energy feels so foreign after 10 days in the wild. After days in the wild, everything out there seems to be forgotten in this hot bath of sound and energy. You stick around for a few moments, soaking up the raw culture, then turn back to matters at hand. Well, a nice little break, a nice little moment there. Yeah, so let's check out the store next. In major towers like this, you'll often find a convenience store on the ground level. Like what one would find at a gas station, it's filled with things that work in an emergency, but for nothing which you'd make a dedicated visit. The cramped space is filled with bottles, junk foods, over-the-counter drugs, and impulse buys. Let's start shopping, just to see what is on offer here. Pick up items to purchase. You cannot sell items here, however. Unfortunate, but yeah, look at that. Just a lot of things. Corn, a cola. Okay, so maybe it wasn't oil before, it was some kind of like syrupy drink that we were looking at, but yeah, I mean there's lots of stuff there. Handfuls of jelly bears. Yeah, unfortunately not for us. Let us leave it behind. And we're not going to be buying anything from the food truck either, so yeah, we'll be leaving that, and we're going to be heading back to the savings bank. Yeah, okay, we make it back here after walking all around the city. We are going to wait. Can we use tracking at the same time? No, not really. Okay, so we are just going to be waiting. You find a position with a good vantage point and stare at the booth like psycho for a while, because why not? The booth doesn't garner a lot of foot traffic, which might explain why there's so few of them around town. As you're waiting, you think she spots you, but you can't be sure. Waiting a bit longer, she starts talking on her mobile and glances your way. Looking down again when she sees you, it appears you have been made. As you hurry down the sidewalk, faint sirens can be heard echoing through the canyon of skyscrapers. I mean, we were just hanging out, yeah? I don't think we want to go back there. Not just yet. So, gate 11 then. Yeah, merging with the line of people and vehicles, you make your way through the tunnel into the muddy tent city of the Sprawl. So back out in the Sprawl, let's see if we can't track down somewhere that we might be able to sell things. So, okay, we've got a bazaar here, and we've got some more abandoned buildings. The junk market. As you navigate through the winding alleys of DMC's Sprawl, you encounter a huge structure, fashioned of shipping containers. Throngs of people enter and exit the structure through a doorway on one side. Inside, you can see a thriving bazaar where people trade scavenged items in the light of 1,000 lanterns and bug zappers. The air is thick with sweat, smoke, and the smell of barbecue and spices. This is the Sprawl's notorious junk market. Pick up items to purchase or drop items to sell them. Okay, store policies, let's see. Hardware and software. If software is not switched on and unlocked, vendors will only pay the hardware's value as if it were empty, so we have to turn the phone on first. Good to know. Vendors will only pay a nominal fee for unidentified pills. Pills will then be identified and sold at full price. When in doubt, verify the vendor's purchase price before surrendering items to them. All sales are final. Okay, good to know. So having a look here, we can see an iSlab tablet. What else we got? The tracking bracelet, which is actually worth 3,000. Oh, because it's not a visitor pass. Hang on, no. Yeah, this is also worth 3,000. Wild. Okay. We've got a cheap memory stick here, which has like GPS software on it, it looks like. We've got batteries, soup, and no water. No water. Okay, so we've got some cured meat up there as well. So what we might want to try and do is try and find things that are going to be valuable to sell. Like the cured meat, that ain't selling for much. There is no water here, so maybe we have a look at trying to sell like proper sterilized water. First thing that we're going to try and sell though is the phone here. So let's turn that on and see how much that is worth. It looks like it's going to be 11. And yeah, 11. We've got 11 just like that. Okay, so what else can we sell? Or what do we want to sell rather? We could sell the pain pills. Yeah. So let's empty that out for now. It is unidentified pills, but still that's got us at 32. Okay. And then kind of everything else we want to hold on to. Oh, the bullets though. The bullets we can get rid of. And that's going to give us 100. So they're worth like $50 each. That's impressive. The lighters are worth a fair amount, and so are the lockpicking tools as well. I'm just going to reorganize things there a little bit. Yeah, I don't think there's anything specifically that we want to buy here. Yeah, they are selling ammunition here as well, but yeah, I'm glad that we've been able to sell some things. Oh, I am noticing now that we have lost our flash drive that had the footage on, and I guess it's because, you know, it's been used. Okay, well, I'd say that was kind of successful. I wouldn't mind coming back here to try and sell off some water, but let's continue through the rest of the places that are out here. We do have these abandoned buildings. Let's see what we've got on each of these squares. Stuff. And so is it oil that's in these? I just have to kind of figure that out. Corner cola. So no, it is a drink. Use? Yeah. Okay. Player is on a caffeine high. Okay. Right. Well, let's just keep a little bit of that for now because we can drink some more of that. It is good for our hunger at the same time. Good to know. And you know what? We'll grab an extra bottle because we are hopefully going to go and get some water somewhere else and we have to end our turn. That's fine. Starting to rain. Let's check out this square here, see what we've got going on. And there is actually some water here. We will take that and put that in one of these. And I'm going to wait until the caffeine high goes before we try and do anything else. Looks like we're going to be able to get some water over here. Oh, down here, squeezed between the DMC's southern walls and the Great Swamp's proverbial hard place, you finally find a place boasting vacancy. St. James Parkade. Okay. St. James Parkade is what sounds like a pre-apocalypse parking garage, except in this case, repurposed to berth humans. Someone had the bright idea to leave all the cars in a parking garage, hook them up to an unlicensed power tap and charge occupancy by the night. I mean, that's not a bad idea. A patron could rent an open pickup if they're down on their luck and own a sleeping bag. They could rent a hatchback if they have a little extra to spend on heat and a shelter and door locks. Or if they have the taste for finer living, splurge for a full-sized van with its own chem toilet. It's no Ritz-Carlton. However, it's not sleeping exposed to anyone who wanders by, and that's what counts. Okay, so, right, we can rent places out. We'll say no for now, but it's good to know that that is there. And yeah, I think we're going to continue on towards this Great Swamp. And I think this is like the very edge of the map here. Yeah, let's see what we're able to find here in the way of water. We'll use that, and it does look like we can get a fair amount of it here. That's good. Still that caffeine high, so we're not going to drink the rest of that syrup drink, but we'll stock up on all that water, use again. Oh yeah, we can keep on going here. Okay, so we're pretty much fully stocked. I suppose we could drink this, unless it's gonna be like overdone. Drank some water, did we? Oh crap. Okay, well we could get sick from that. I hope we won't. Let's drink this. Use. Taste the corny refreshment. Yes, we do. We're going to use again just to kind of get the water all set. And yeah, we just need to go and start a fire somewhere and get that all sterilized. So best place to do that is probably over in one of these forests here. We could go for this one. It's a little bit further away, and I feel like that'll be a little bit safer because of it. Not likely to have someone walk up and try and mug us. Yeah. Oh, we do have a secluded shack here. I mean, we could do a quick scavenge. Hello. Great Black Swamp. Okay, we'll end our turn here. And, oh, we're crashing after the caffeine high. Oh, and now we're really thirsty again. And we're weary. All right, well, let's scavenge, see what we can find in the abandoned mobile home that is here. We'll use our strength. Oh, there is like next to no loot here. Of course, I mean, it makes sense. Like, the place has been very much like, yeah, searched. So yeah, we'll be leaving that. Let's just go back to the forest here and use the trees to get all the wood we need. And it looks like we're probably gonna have to drink quite a bit of this food ourselves. Drink the food? Drink the water, rather. So let's get ourselves a campfire burning, and let's start sterilizing all that water in lots of 3. And I think that's all of it. Not enough moves left to craft, so we might actually have some more still. We just need to end our turn first. We've had lots of the guards show up. So let's just offer to talk. Was that 55 by the O2? He stopped speaking on the radio, disappointed at the interruption. What do you need? Okay, what's the story with the swamp? Yeah, let's ask about the swamp. What's the story with the swamp? Chemical wash. He responds quickly. Nobody's permitted down there. Highly toxic. Yeah, but why? Some crops got out of control back in the day. Had to burn them with chemicals. His radio pipes up and he turns slightly from you. He then walks away, speaking into the mic. Alright, well, we're safe. That's fine. Let's head back into the crafting here and see if we do need to sterilize any other water here. No, it looks like we have gone through all of it. Okay, so having a look at the inventory here, we are going to just start to use the water that is here. I mean, there might actually be like one bit of water that we didn't finish off, but yeah, we're going to be using this, slaking our thirst, and then we will do the same thing again, really. We just want to make sure that we're kind of maxed out here. That seems like we're maxed out. So we'll head back, we'll get some water. I mean, like, this stuff we are going to be able to sell, so we can get another 3 bottles worth. And we can actually head down here. We don't want to go to the Great Swamp, so maybe that would be safer heading up to there. Yeah, let's make a move. And up here we have water ready to go. Nice, locked and loaded. Head back to where we need to be, and we're out of moves, so we'll end our turn and then do a little bit more crafting. And we've been approached again, and we can ask some different things. Any work around here? Ask about local gangs. Let's just ask about work, maybe. What are you, nuts? You think we got some kind of labor shortage in this hellhole? Look around. The only thing we got in spades is filthy immigrants. Oh, how nice. He heads off, uninterested in anything else you have to say. Well then, let's get back to our water. And it shouldn't take too many more of these to get it all sterilized. And I think that's us done. Yep, let's go and get that back into the bottle. Okay, busy work, but we'll see if it's paid off at all. We're going to start to make our way back up towards the junk market. And I think we can get pretty close, but not entirely there on this turn. Oh, right, we had some chest rags just kind of fall apart. Right, how is that looking? Could be looking better. We'll keep the clean one on there for now. The dirty rags we're just going to leave behind for the moment, because we've got more than enough of these clean ones, and we'll make sure we get that on our head. There we go. And now onto the junk market yet again. And here we are going to just be unloading the water, so we'll empty it out. It's worth 10. Okay, 10 each, or is it just like 10 all up? Let's see what we go up to here. Empty that out. Okay, yeah, it's worth like 5 each, but that's not a bad way to earn money. It's a slow way to earn money, but that's given us nearly 200 already. Now, I don't know what that is actually being tracked on. I would assume it's being tracked on the tracking bracelet, but I think I'd like to do that maybe one more time. The sun is starting to set, but yeah, we'll get that done. Okay, locked and loaded on the waterfront. We're going to head back towards where our campfire is, and it is actually still active, so let's see if we can stoke that. Indeed, we can, but we don't have enough moves, so it might actually just become extinct. Extinct? Is that the right idea? It's gonna go out. And yeah, it has. Okay, well, we'll just make another fresh one, and we'll get back to boiling. And all that water has been sterilized. Excellent. We've still got a little bit more in the way of moves, so we'll take one square, and then we'll wait. Oh, okay. We're being approached by someone with a Wolverine black whiskey bottle. 2 of them, actually. And we're now weak with hunger, so we need to eat soon. You know what, we probably should have done some trapping. Maybe that's something that we can look at doing tonight. Well, this guy can't see us right now. Let's reveal ourselves here. Okay, we can see. Let's offer to talk. And he's just left. That's okay. Let's head up towards that junk market. And we're pretty much going to sell all the where did all the water go? Did I leave it back there? Maybe. Let's see. Maybe the guy took it. No, he didn't. Okay. Take. That was my mistake. And you know what? While we are here, let's have a look and see what we are going to need to do to make some kind of a trap. Squirrel snare. Okay. We actually have everything we need to do it. We just don't have the turns to do it. Okay. It's night. So now we're probably going to need to use a light to do it as well. Squirrel snare. Okay, we don't. Good. We got a snare. Now, how are we going to employ that? I'm guessing it's something that we might just be able to make part of our camp. Like that might be the way to do it, possibly. Yeah, I think we'll try and sleep here. We can set up the alarm system around here. We'll give it a go. But I think we'll go and sell the water off first, just in case we're robbed during the night. Because, you know, it's a possibility. This whole area here is lit up, so that makes it a little bit easier for us to move around. And it seems like the mart is open at all hours. We're going to keep one of these bottles for ourselves, but we're at 242 already. Let's drink both of the bits of water that we have there. And let's start to head back. Just going to restock on that water while we can. Oh yeah, and we go really slow at night. You can only move 1 square at a time. But yeah, this will be our basic little shelter here, I think. We've got lots of ash, handfuls of ash. We're going to put together that noise trap. And it looks like one of our bandages fell apart, which is the one on our chest, and good. Okay, that's all clean. And so is that one. We can keep that as a clean rag. There we go. Still got 8. So a campfire would make us more visible. I think we're going to be okay in terms of temperature tonight. Let's have a look at the campsite. We've got our squirrel snare there. Again, I'm assuming that's how we're going to make this work. I wonder if we could do more than one noise trap. But, you know, I think that's going to be fine. Our alertness is looking pretty good. Shelter, not so good. Let's hope it doesn't rain and we are out. Something approaches us as we slumber, and we are straight up unconscious during this. Unknown assailant's activity caused the player to wake up. We've awoken. Okay. Did we lose anything during the night? No, I don't think we did. Didn't get anything on the squirrel snare. At least maybe we used the snare with the trees or something like that. That could be an option. For now though, we're just going to take apart our noise trap. And then, yeah, snare and forest? Yeah, no, okay. So that just gives us the stuff back from that. Oh, do we need to use trapping as well? Is that a thing? No, it doesn't seem to be the way for us to do that. You know, for now, let us get a campfire going. Let's just boil some more water. And look at all that water. Make sure that we use some of that. But yeah, we're getting thirsty pretty quickly. That is, of course, because well, we get hungrier and we get thirstier rather easy. And now, I don't want to finish today with us being hungry. So we're gonna try and see if we can track down some food. And we know that we can do that in the city here, but we'll have a look at some of the spots around it. We could scavenge in there, but it's not gonna be worth it. Let's just work our way through here. Oh, actually, stopping for a moment at the market here, there are some new things. Shopping cart frames. So we could slowly build a shopping cart over time. There is some meat here, small, and it doesn't cost that much. Honestly, yeah, let's just maybe go that route. Yeah, it's got us out of being malnourished, but I think a proper meal is in order. Oh, and we've got a little bit more information from this newspaper here. More where that came from. US researchers have developed the first self-replicating nanomachine cell in a breakthrough, which raises new issues about recreating life in a laboratory. This is the first synthetic cell that's been made, said lead researcher Miles Dyson, unveiling the culmination of 15 years of research. We have a cheap memory stick here. There's a military microcell, some AA batteries, something that tells us how to make a broken bottle, and oh, berries. Okay, so the white yellow ones are poison. The red berries are edible. Good to know. And yeah, I guess there must be new stuff here each day. The cardboard box is an interesting one because we could fit it in here, but it doesn't actually give us any extra space by the look of it. It takes up the same amount of space as it uses. Although it might be part of making the sled or the other kind of vehicles that we can actually carry around with us. We are going to continue up towards the city gates, heading on back inside. And maybe we do want to pop into the Red Gnome and have a meal there. But at the same time, maybe we want to have a look at the augmentation clinic as well. Just as an option. We know that it's going to take a while to wait here. Nanorobotic suspension 363. What is that going to do for us? And we get full diagnostics, core body temperature regulation. I guess if we got hypothermia, that's something that we might have to do. Rehydration and micronutrition therapy. Let's head upstairs. Haggerty Health also offers several elective procedures which involve implanting devices and replacing tissue. Before receiving any such procedures, a patient must undergo preliminary testing for eligibility, as not all patients are good candidates for synthetic implantation or augmentation surgeries. Some procedures will require additional testing and in some cases special permits and authorizations. Okay, wow, eye surgery, 1,000. Okay, we could work our way up towards that. Artificial eye night vision upgrade, 300. So that's after, I think, getting the eye replacement, 5,600. Telescopic upgrade, fantastic. But just in general, I mean, I guess here's the thing. If you were going to go for the eye surgery, you'd probably go all the way to the eye augmentation, but 1,000's much easier to get, and that would get rid of the negative that we currently have. Although, yeah, working up to 1,000, that would probably take a little while. Although we've seen, sometimes if you can get one or two good items, you'll be looking pretty good. Let's leave for now. And I think we're gonna treat Philip here. Heading into the Red Gnome, what are we going to eat? Let's see. Maybe we go for, kind of cheaper. $20, that's pretty decent. Combo 2. Fried shrimp, collard greens, black eyed peas, and peach cobbler. I mean, it sounds great. Your eyes fixate on the kitchen door. You wait impatiently for the food. Doesn't even have to be your order. You'll gladly accept a misdelivered plate. When it arrives, you have to restrain yourself from going feral on the dinner. With some effort, you take a controlled bite first of the shrimp. Your mouth floods with saliva. There's a stinging sensation radiating from the side of your tongue as flavor drips over it. Pecking around the plate, you sample the sides, mixing them in your mouth. The savory flavors complement each other, rounded out by the sweet and sour of the peach. Wonderful. Wonderful. And now we're just hungry. We can make a run for it. No, I don't think so. You consume the entire meal without regard for the world around you. As you pick the last morsel from your plate, you feel a sensation that has eluded you for days. Fullness. You sit back and the rest of the diner comes back into focus. The waiter scribbles something onto a receipt and places it on the table before you, then clears your plates. A moment of giddiness strikes you as you realize you've finished a meal without worrying about rain, concealment, or attracting predators. Flipping over the receipt, it reads $20, below some unintelligible scribbling. That's not bad, really. $20, thinking about it. That is just 2 bottles of water for us. Let's pay the bill. Real shrimp in Detroit, huh? You guess that's not impossible. Shrimp farming is pretty high density stuff, and $20 is hardly a cheap plate, but hey, that feeling in your stomach is almost worth any price. You pay for the meal, then a thought occurs to you. Do people still tip? We'll leave a tip. Whether tipping is still the rule or not, you have a feeling you'll be back here again. Can't hurt to leave a good impression. You dole out a little bit extra for the fine meal. Well, I feel good about that, and I'm sure that Philip feels good too. A warm meal, hot damn. Things are looking up for Mr. Kindred. Well, somewhat. No doubt if we stick it out for a while, cooking up water, we'd eventually be able to afford that eye surgery. Whether or not we do that fully depends on whether we can feed ourselves out there in the wilderness. If our trapping comes through, we've got food and water provided for us. A few days of gathering water might give us all we need to have an eye surgery, and having that done before we venture further out, that kind of makes sense to me. So, we'll see about that. But for now, I ask you all, if you enjoyed today's episode, please consider leaving a comment or a like to let me know if you enjoyed the show. As for now, I have been Rycon, you have all been awesome, and until next time, stay tuned.